What's up, Nick? Farm Genie? Hanson? Chris Hansen? Yeah, we got Chris Hansen in the chat. My man, Hansen Skinador. Big G says we are so back. We could be, man. We could be. 60 people? That's not bad. Well, 5 minutes. Good afternoon. Good morning to some. I guess half the people are probably sleeping too. You held Jack for months and Cable sent a new Wojak. Yeah, it's gambling, unfortunately. What's up, Flip Coins? Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Frozen intro. Are we live? Last week was the end of the world. What happened? Yeah, the bull run is back, brother. Didn't you get the memo? We're actually lower than we were a week ago, but somehow it's bullish now. Yeah, that's how you gotta do it, bro. If you just wait, if you wait long enough, it's bullish. Welcome to the middle of the live stream. Mr. Meowisis is in the building. Thomas Welch. Do I check the Bitcoin heat map? No, I don't. No, I do not. But I did just post a bunch of videos. Sorry. Let me wait for a little more people to show up. I sent $20, but the Crunchwrap isn't up. Yeah, the Crunchwrap is not going to be up for a little while. I just posted a video today. It's going to be quick 3-minute video. Some chicken shit. The Crunchwrap is not coming out for a little while. Unfortunately. Must be a quick live stream. Probably like an hour and 20 minutes. Nothing that people gotta go places, so it's nothing happening anyway. But I want to live stream every day. I don't want to have any days off unless there's a reason to. I think Christmas is more what do you call it? Sentimental. Because, like, Thanksgiving, you're supposed to be thankful. And the biggest thing I'm thankful for in my life, well, I guess other things, but like one of the biggest things is my YouTube channel. So why would I not live stream? Yeah. Can you just tell me if you think it was good? You'll have to watch. It's definitely not the best item I've had. I could say that. Especially for $7. For $7, I could buy other options that are much better. You're holding tight and adding as I can. Well, I would say pump the brakes on your DCA because if we go into a bear market, your money that you're sending into the shadow realm will be worth so much more at the low. Why are people programmed for a man-made day? I mean, your whole life is programmed based on something that someone else set up. Why do you wake up at 8 and go to work at 9? That's how the world was designed. So the holidays are the same thing. Glad to see you drinking water and not soda. Well, I've drank like 3 gallons of soda over the last month. Now that we've established that my heart has no impact, is not impacted by the soda, I'm back on the soda grind. It was a great bull run. I mean, if you think about it, it was. We just had our money in the wrong places. So, you know, think about it this way. If you had $1 million, would you be buying in right now or would you be out? The only reason we wanted to continue is because we want to be rich. But if you were a millionaire already, you wouldn't be buying Bitcoin at 90,000. You'd wait for it to come down at 40,000 at any time, even if it did go back up. But because we want it to go up, we're looking for reasons for it to go up, and there are none, unless you make them. We're getting QE, which isn't even confirmed. I'm seeing that everywhere now. QE is coming, stimulus is coming. It could take 6 months before it comes. Berto is in the chat. Whale Talk, do quant trials in 13 days. Imagine they pump it back up. I'd be on a cruise in the high limit blackjack tables. Yeah, no, it's rough. We had a chance, but oh well. The bottom is in. Well, 43% of the chat says new all-time high for 2026. So getting some interesting polling here. 40% of you say new all-time high. Wow. All right, so we can't get 100 viewers. Yeah, so yesterday's Doge video got 1,400 views. This is the lowest views we've had ever. So first signal that it is a bear market. 1,400 views, man. That is the lowest view count all year long. Whenever the views plummet, that means people left. When people leave, it's bearish. So, figured it was worth a share. We used to get 600 views in an hour. Now we only got 300. So just another warning signal. People are leaving. I want my money back 10 minutes after losing it. So now you got all your money back or you're back to where you were before you bet? Yeah, I saw Chelsea won. I actually looked it up. Chelsea won. I think the risk reward of waiting for sub 60K isn't worth it. Well, we're looking for sub 50K, not sub 60K. If it's truly a bear market, we should go below 50,000. So I got a couple charts. I joined this website back in 2025 or 2024, but I haven't been using it because it's all rubbish. But there's a couple things I'd like to share with you. Right, we could get the stream started. We got pretty much 100 people. It's probably going to be a small crowd today, but that's okay. So this is the Bitcoin supply in loss, as you can see. And then obviously the black is the price of Bitcoin. You can actually see that from the bottom in 2021, or whatever year this is, we've been making lower lows as the price has been making higher lows. Even though we made another lower low, this is the first time we made a higher high in loss, which tells me that just like in 2021, even though the price made a higher low, you made a higher high on loss. That tells me that it's bearish now. So we're right here. Or right here. So the price made a higher low, but more people are in loss. I think that's because we spent more time up here, so more people bought in. So for everyone saying no one bought in, more people bought in here than any other time, potentially, because more people are in loss, even though we made a higher low. Now, it could also be because we're below this price, so now you have people from here and here. But again, it's still a higher low. And this is the first time you made a higher high on this indicator, which means an uptrend has potentially started. All right. So that was the first thing. The second thing was this. Pretty much the same concept. But this is net unrealized loss. So these are people that are holding and they're just not selling. You can see we finally made a higher high. So it starts off small, then it turns large, and then it turns gigantic. By the time it turns gigantic, the bottom is in. So we're probably here. Or here. Now keep in mind that this move was 70% to the downside. This move was 50% to the downside. We only went down 35%, so it makes sense that this is smaller. But look at how much larger it is than the other two. So we're probably in here somewhere. Which means this is next, and then this is the bottom. But that's not going to happen for a while. And then this chart, again, pretty much the same thing. You can see we just made a lower low, even though the price made a higher low. Just like 2021. See? Lower low, higher low. Higher high, price, lower high, indicator, lower high, lower high. We just made a lower low. So we're in a downtrend on this. Problem is, by the time you get to these lower levels, the bottom is in. And we're almost there. So that means we should get a big bounce and then go right down to the bottom. But the bottom at the indicator isn't necessarily the bottom in the price, as you can see. But it's just generally, you can see the trend is down. And then one of the charts that I actually just made, which is pretty interesting, I think, is the 3-week, I don't know what time frame this is, but it's an RSI. You can see when we capitulate down into the middle line, we actually capitulate to the downside for the bottom every time we do this, as you can see. So ours is projected to be sometime in March, because you can see the first one was 1,450 days away. The second one was 1,250 days away. So if you put 1,400, technically it could be anywhere. I don't know, but we're just using rough estimates. I mean, look, the RSI is already coming down here. So you do have indicators suggesting that it is bearish finally. You send me 150 ETH mainnet. Malendak, I appreciate the 150. I appreciate that. Malendak. Oh, this is a Mon coin? Could be a nice gamble. Casino stays open year round. I would say bullish over 16, bearish below. As long as you remain over 16, we have no reason to be bearish. A break below 16 will send you down to 60. Any lower than 60, and it's going to 0. Rug pull. So you could be bullish over 16, bearish below. Keep it simple. Any lower than 16 and the top is in, which you can pretty much see. I mean, it is. Look at the size of this move, 70% down. So if you see it go below 16, the top is in. As long as it's over 16, you could go higher. There's only 35K liquidity though, so it moves fast. Just keep that in mind. But I appreciate the 2, man. DC Woodworks for 2 says happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate the 2. Happy Thanksgiving as well to you all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate the 2. How's everybody doing today? 1:30. It is early too. Most people don't even log on until 12 p.m. But by the time they come here, the stream will be almost done. But I think that was pretty much all I needed to share. It is a big deal when we break below the middle line, honestly, because it suggests that the bears are officially in control. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I still have it. Yeah, even on the 3-week time frame, chat, you can see it. Look. Right here. If you just mark the times we've come to this line, you know, it's a bear market every single time. With the exception of 2019. But you still made a new low after that. So we're going to get a bounce right now. There's no question. And then when you came from the downside, it was bull market, right? The other side is true as well. When you break this dotted line, it's a bull market. When you break this dotted line here, it's a bull market. So we're about to enter bear market. But in order to enter this, you need to already be in a bear market, which is why if we bounce right now, we should be right here, which is where everything says we are. So we should be bullish for the next 2-3 months, which is why I'm saying if we go up and make a new all-time high, it should happen in the next month and a half. And if we're still below 100K in February, it's almost like telling you the market is about to reach the point of no return, where if you don't get out right now, you're not going to get out ever, or for another 2 years. Depending on what you're holding, it could be never. So the next 2 weeks are very important, in my opinion. Sorry, not the next 2 weeks, the next 2 months. Yeah, look, even the 2 week RSI. Yeah, nah, it's I've seen enough. I don't need any more information, honestly. I mean, I'll always take information, but I mean, you could just see every single time we've broken down here, it was a bear market, except for 2019, which again, you still had a crash of 50%. So very interesting. Rick Cogswell is in the building. Welcome. Bat is getting a good pump. We should get a nice pump over the next 2 months. So if you're gonna FOMO in, now would be the time to do so. Not financial advice. If you see yourself being a moon boy FOMOing in, you just do it now. Not financial advice. Because we're going up. Question is, how high do we go? I mean, you could look at this too, the 6-day RSI. Look at the last time we were down here. I mean, it's just super bearish. Should I FOMO into OXT again? I actually haven't looked at OXT in months. I mean, it could bounce. You know, it will be funny if OXT goes to 0 and then you put a money back in. Like if it goes to 1 cent, you could just put in $1,000. And then if it goes like this, you get all your money back. Because I think the bull arguments people are making are good for the next market cycle. Like we could have a good alt season next market cycle. And you know what else I was looking at last night that helped me quench my FOMO? If you look at the monthly candle, when have we ever put a monthly candle in and then gone up right away? Not one time this whole market cycle. Every single time you've had a move down, you've had consecutive candles in the same area. So again, if you're FOMOing in for a bull market, you're betting on something that hasn't even happened in this market cycle, let alone, history. Even here, you had 2 wicks in the same spot. You've never had 1 wick and then we've just gone up right away. So that tells me that December, you may come back to 87,000 at some point. I mean, just look at it. You always have another candle come to that price. If the candle's red like this. So I don't have any FOMO. I mean, it's there. It's always going to be there. But for me, the FOMO goes away if we don't make a new all-time high by March or February. Because, like, if you think about it, even if the market cycle is extending, I remember someone made that argument with the halving. They said that the tops are getting further away from the halving. I mean, even if you look at it from that perspective, we're pretty far away from that now. It's at 570. So it's like, if the top's not in, then where is it? In December? All right. So if we go make a new all-time high in December, then you're right. But if you don't make a new all-time high in December, now you're saying the top's in January, then the top's not in January. There's a good chance the top's already in if we don't make a new all-time high by January. The indicators that always suggest it's bullish or bearish all say the top is already in. But for people like I get it even myself, like if you need more confirmation, you won't make a new all-time high by January. If you do, then it's a bull market. But if you don't, it's just more signals telling you it's bearish. All right, we're starting to get some bogeys in the chat. 150. 150, okay. Am I going to make videos for the next cycle? Probably. I mean, like I said before, the views are already taking a large move down, which is not something that I want to see, but I'm still going to make videos until it doesn't make sense to. But I was not expecting such a drop off from 1.9 to 1.4. That's pretty bad. But that just tells me that there's nobody here, which is another reason why it's bearish. There's nobody here. Big FOMO on Molendak, is it? Yeah, it's coming in. Is that coin still going up? No, I mean, it kind of looks like Caspa now. I mean, there's always going to be more coins. So this could be another good coin maybe next market cycle. I don't know. There's always another coin that didn't come out yet. You thought less views was a bottom signal? Yeah, in a bull market. We just made a new low for the market cycle. I haven't had 1,400 views since like 2023, bro. That's not bullish. The views are now back down here, which means the price is probably going to gravitate towards that. We are always here. Don't ever feel lonely. No, it's not about feeling lonely. It's about the death of YouTube channels. If we really get this bear market, a lot of YouTube channels will die. I mean, mine's gonna get hit really bad too because it's based on Dogecoin. So it's like, yo, if we crash down, there's gonna be nobody left. So it's gonna be I'm gonna have to see what I want to do. Could be bad. Could be. That's why I have to prepare. Rain token might be decent. It's the only prediction market token. I'm not even going on the what do you call it? I'm not even going on the altcoins, honestly. It's not even worth a gamble anymore. Couldn't it be less views equals a massive run? Happy go lucky. Is that Maggie Jeets? It had the same profile picture. The usernames are all changing. Need more O-face thumbnails? Nah, I've been doing YouTube for long enough. I know what's coming if we really go down. If we really enter a bear market, the views are gonna die, the revenue's gonna die. But I'm prepared for it this time. So LTC to 600 bucks. You gotta watch out that LTC doesn't go down to 40 bucks, man. We got to be careful LTC doesn't come down to $20 to $30. Because, yeah, you have a giant uptrend here. But it could also be a bear flag. Because look at where the top is, right on the 618 retracement from 2019. So technically, if we break this trend line, we're going down to $30. So we'd have to break to the upside. I mean, you used to say when everyone capitulated and the views started to fall. Yeah, but we've broken all the bullish indicators. But what I'm asking you, happy-go-lucky, is what is your other username? Like, not happy-go-lucky. What is the other one that you use? Buy during crypto winter? Yeah, but it's impossible to know what coin is going to go up. First bounce was 92%. The second bounce was 46%. So this bounce should be like 20 to 30%. Yeah, we should go right back to 100K, honestly. We really should, man. And it's gonna look so bullish too. That's the problem. But I don't know if going right back up like this is bullish. You know? I feel like whenever we shoot up, it goes right back down again. We'd have to like go like this and then shoot up. I don't like the Bollinger Bands. Get rid of this too. Yeah, you can see even the red, even this thing is rolling over now. Look at where it rolls over. That has to be it, man. It has to be. I'm not gonna overcomplicate it. I never bought it, I'm just watching it. What, Litecoin? All right, that's another good one. Oh, that's another sign too. Look, we've actually got green candles now. Yeah, Bitcoin is starting to cool off. We haven't had a green candle since 2023. That means we overheated already. Yup. Dude, the same exact thing happened here, man. I'm telling you. We went from yellow to green. So once these candles turn blue, it's gonna go straight down. Yeah. All right. There's more than enough evidence, or not yet, but like to look, there's more than enough things to look for. But yeah, we just got a green candle, two green candles actually. And every single time you've gone from yellow back to green, it was a bear market. Well, again, in context, because here you went from yellow to green, but like going from yellow to orange to red, back to yellow, back to orange, then green. You could say with the exception of this, but again, this will always be the exception, which is why you have the other indicators like the moving averages that told you it was still bullish. Our indicators tell us that it's bearish, and this is also saying that it's bearish. Yeah, we should be right in here somewhere. Pretty much. So we're going to be here for a while. It's not just going to go down. Which one you think is better, Solana or MSTR? I mean, it's impossible to know. You could argue MSTR though, because it's like, yeah, it's impossible to know. So what's a couple things to look at here? What do we got? So the stock RSI is about to run. The 10-day stock RSI is going to bounce too. Yeah, I mean, that just looks so bad. That's so funny. Even here, look, even here, you just got a blue arrow. The last time you had a blue arrow was right here. I'm pretty sure this is where we are. So we should be bullish for the next 2 months. But, yo, this is bad, man. Like, we just printed a blue arrow. That means that this isn't green anymore. It's been green since 2023. Just like back here, it wasn't green anymore. So by the time it turns blue, you're already going down for the bottom. So how long was this? 90 days. This was 130. It's so weird. It's almost like we're ahead of schedule. Yeah, this is 90 days too. So we should go sideways for 60 to 90 days, which is February. You know, it's like so odd because if the bear market started, we're literally 54 days in and we're already getting capitulation signals. This one was 77 days in. This one was 179 days in. Yeah, but that's a trend. It's moving forward every cycle. This one's 287. So it's like shifting, and I think it's shifting because the indicators are getting weaker every time because Bitcoin is getting weaker. That's why that's happening. So they're not going to be as accurate as they once were, but they're still accurate enough. I think that's why it's shifting over, which is why the RSI looks the way that it does, because the bull market is getting weaker every time. Even the weekly time frame, look at where we are. This is the first candles below the guppy since 2023. Yeah, look, here too. So the only thing we're missing is a blue arrow, which maybe we get it if we close below 93,000. We are a little ahead because Bitcoin peaked in October. Now we're ahead in that instance, yes, but we're ahead because the market cycles are getting weaker. Because if we peaked in November here, then January was the bottom. All you would say is we peaked in October, so December should be the bottom because it shifted over. But we bottomed in November, 1 month later, which this one was 3 months. So it's getting condensed because we're getting weaker. So all we have to do is find out where is this. And that might not be that far away. Because everything is shifted over to the left. Yeah. Yeah, I really think we're shooting for like February, March, man. I think the capitulation is gonna be from March till June. I really do. Something, you know? Like, and the thing is, if you take every prior bear market, not just the last one, I know recency bias is a thing. The last bear market lines up exactly as March being the top. And then it says, look, it says November is the bottom, or October is the bottom, which is what the 4-year cycle states. So that's recency bias. If you take the one before that and you drag it over, it says you should roll over in March as well. But it says you go sideways until June and then you go down. So you can't really argue the capitulation would be in March, but you'd still top out in March and never go back to that point. That's what I'm saying. So like March, so Bitcoin has to make a new all-time high before March or it's over. Like some people think it's already over. I'm just saying for the people that don't think it's over yet. That's what I'm trying to say. If we don't make a new all-time high by March, those people that still don't accept it's over have to accept it's over, because that is your last chance to accept it's over before it goes straight down. And then even the first market cycle, this is what's interesting. Even if you go back to 2014 and you stick it on there, let's see what it says. I think it's March, maybe it's April. No, it's April. So April is the point of no return. And then it says the bottom's in November. So basically the summer should be really bearish. But the summer's always bearish. But I think we're going to shoot for March as March is the start of the capitulation. Because if you look at these signals, this one was 90 days to the capitulation. This one was 165 days. We already went over this. This one you got two. You got a bull trap. But I'd say 115-ish, right? Yeah. So 115, 165, and 90. So we'll say 100 days. Why not? Yeah, again, it's freaking March, dude. I think March is the date with destiny. I think if we're still at 100K in March, we're about to go straight down. Because you have to take this into consideration. The top was in November, the bottom was in November. The top was in December, the bottom was in December. In 2013, it wasn't that. The top was in November. Sorry, the top was in December, but the bottom was in January. So it's the same shit pretty much, right? You're not going to argue 1 month. Our top was in October, so the bottom would have to be in October or September or somewhere in there. But the thing is, if we're still at 100K in March, now you have to go from 100K in March down to 40,000 in 4 months, 5 months. How do you get there? You got to fucking go straight down. Literally, like, if we're still at 100K in March, it's almost like telling you this is your last chance. And all of the indicators are suggesting that's where we are. We got some super chats. DC Blur for 10 says, Happy Thanksgiving. Thankful for you. I appreciate the 10, man. I'm thankful for you as well. Very thankful for my chat. Thankful for the super chat. Thankful for my YouTube channel. Appreciate the 10. Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving, Mr. Blur, and the chat. We got Chris for 20. I appreciate that a lot, man. Happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate that. This guy said, come on, pump, goddammit. I appreciate the 20, man. That's awesome. I appreciate that a lot. Helps out a lot. Happy Thanksgiving to the chat. We're starting to get some viewers now. Maybe I streamed a little early. But I appreciate the super chats. It helps out a lot. Happy Thanksgiving to all who celebrate it. I appreciate that a lot. I really do. We're trying to get through this, chat. We're gonna get through this, man. We made it. This is now my 3rd bear market, man. Sucks. 2018, 2022, and now. And it just feels like we sat through 3 bear markets because we did. Because we're holding altcoins. And Avalanche is a beautiful depiction of that. You could legitimately argue that Avalanche had 3 bear markets. A bear market's usually 70%, right? This was 62%. This was 70%. This was 70%. So like, brother, it's down 70% again. Avalanche went down 70% 3 years in a row. That's a fucking bear market, man. And now we have to sit through another one. So that's why for me, I'm making peace with everything over the next 2 to 3 months, because moving forward, the reality is it's only really a bear market for 1 year. If you don't buy altcoins, it's a bear market for 1 year. I mean, the S&P is in a bear market for 5 months to a year. That's it. Then it's bullish for 3 years. So I'm done with altcoins, man. I'm not done. I'm done focusing on altcoins. There will be a window where the altcoins are the place to be. It's just we missed it. And I know people were preaching that. Unfortunately, I didn't want to believe it. Now I believe it. But we also have to be open to the bullish idea, which I do think is a possibility, that if we do have better conditions next market cycle, and the Bitcoin dominance does this, altcoins may be in a very good position. That's why I would like for the dominance to go up. Because if you think about it, the Bitcoin bull run is shrinking. At some point, no one's going to want to buy Bitcoin. So it could be that we get the impulsive move for Bitcoin like out of the bear market. Assuming it's a bear market, obviously. So if we bottom in October and Bitcoin impulsively moves out of the bear market, then from January of 2027 all the way down to the end of the year, you could have an alt run. But I think you also got to look at the flip side, which is technically every market cycle, the dominance has come up here, which some people did push that back here. I didn't want to believe it, but again, I'm just showing you what has happened. So what could be is we could be getting this, where we do come up here and then we go down. You know? Just a thought. Night of Insomnia gifted 1 sub. I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Do I believe that Doge will be worth more in 10 years? I hope so, man. Because Doge BTC isn't really going down. I guess it is, actually. But it's been forming a floor since February. But even in bear markets, look at Doge. It's possible, listen, this is something that we have to look at. It's possible that at some point, even if it is a bear market, Doge has a scam pump. That is a reality. The price of Bitcoin fell from here, but Doge BTC spiked multiple times. The price of BTC fell here, but Doge spiked multiple times. So if Doge BTC does one spike, just one, then the price of Dogecoin will hold this low. You know what's, look at this chart. Fuck me. Look at how old this chart is. I didn't even know this was here. Man, we had it, dude. We just got the price wrong. Oh my god, this chart is so old. Ugh, breaks my heart. Man, I didn't listen to any of my charts. None of them. Heartbreaking. It actually is genuinely heartbreaking, man. Like literally the day it said get out, straight down. But it's all rubbish now. But yeah, essentially, that's what we're looking for. I mean, you could just see that this is a head and shoulders, man. It is. It literally is a head and shoulders. It's only a matter of time before it comes down here to close the gap. Because, like, let's pretend we don't have Dogecoin. Would you look at Chainlink and say that Chainlink is bearish? Because Chainlink has the same chart. You have a giant neck. You have a shoulder here and a shoulder here. So it's like, if we break this trend line, it's bearish. Meow is not a good guy. He's a gay bear. You're not allowed to say that. Avalanche is perma bear. I'm pretty sure, man, this is what it is. Yeah, wait, look. When the when the blue line crosses over the green line, you get one more rally to the top. And that's what we got. And then when the blue line crosses below the green line, it actually marks the bottom of the capitulation. So, chat, the longer we sit down here, yo, I'm telling you, I think the capitulation is going to come earlier. I think if we make it to the spring and we don't lose any money, we're going to make it. Because we're going to know it's bearish, so you just know not to buy in. And the thing is, the summertime could be like last time, or maybe even 2023, whatever year this is. Dude, I'm telling you, I think if we don't make a new high before February, it's done. And we're going to go down March, April, May, June. And then the bear market's done. Just enjoy the summer and then the bull run starts again. I really think that's where we're at, man. Because we're already getting signals that the capitulation is loading. It's just not starting yet. But right here, look. The first signal was this blue arrow. 90 days later, capitulation. This one here was a blue arrow. 20 whatever year this is, I think you got two. Oh no, you didn't. You got one. Yeah, nah, dude, I'm pretty sure if we don't make a new all-time high by February, that's it. I'm pretty sure. No hopium, I got rehabilitation. Yeah, I'm being rehabilitated as well. I'm being rehabilitated as well. Top is in. Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. M2 is exploding. No, we already looked at that. We even tried to point out, like, every time we top out, the M2 deviates. That's the problem. $300 an hour NFT trade. Does bullish mean going up all the time, or are there still corrections? Well, the problem is we broke all the bull market support, so you can't really call it a correction, you know? That's the problem. Would you guys expect to go up during the holidays? Seems like a time to sell to me. I mean, again, if you look at it from just a basic breakdown, we've broke all the bull market support already. It's like we can't really go any lower right now. That's the problem. Bitcoin will pump enough to fool people in. Well, it shouldn't get over 100. Technically, it could go as high as 104. If it goes over that, then you'll probably see real FOMO kick in. But yeah, essentially we would be here somewhere. Which is, again, is so bizarre because we're already here. That's why it's like, is it like accelerated? They said they will stop quantitative tightening December 1st. Yeah, but I think we went over yesterday that the last time they did that, we were bearish. Right? Didn't they stop in August? Wasn't that the chart yesterday? They stopped QT in August and then we fell by 40%. There's going to be a huge run on alts. There could be, man. If it happens in the next 2 months, it should be. In my opinion, it will be up only until May. I mean, it could be, man. I'm not telling you not to follow your gut. You gotta do what you think that you believe will play out. It's not fully bullish until QE starts. I mean, there's just a lot of loose terms being thrown around. But again, I mean, at this point, everyone's gonna do what they believe anyway, which they should, rightfully so. But they have been decreasing it. Oh, it's the same guy typing. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not telling you not to, if you got to stick to what you believe, man. If you feel like we're gonna go up, you gotta just, you know, position yourself for that. Because at the end of the day, people are always gonna do what they think is gonna happen regardless. Mm-hmm. 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 I know you look at stocks, but any alts you think will be good? It's impossible to know, man. Altcoins could go down another 90%. That's the problem. Altcoins can go down another 90%. Mm-hmm. The Doge chart played out. The Moon Boy mentality killed it all. Yeah, that's the reality. I mean, the charts weren't 100% accurate, but the Moon Boy mentality killed them because, you know, everything said to leave and we didn't want to believe it. That's why. So if the chart is right, but you don't believe it, then you're wrong, which is why I'm saying now, for me, the same charts are all saying that the top, if the top's not in, we got to go up right away. But what I'm saying is if we don't make a new all-time high by March or February, I think that's where we start going down. Because again, if the bottom is in, let's assume the top is in. If the top's not in, then we'll go up and make a new all-time high before March, and then everyone wins, bull market. If not, and we're still here, basically, no new all-time high. Now it's March, and we have 7 months to go down 60%, basically. So how are you going to get down there? You got to start moving. Because this entire capitulation took 88 to 90 days. This capitulation took 40, we'll say 40 days. This one was much larger. Not really, 70 days. So it's like 70, 40, 96. So if we go down in March, 90 days later is June. Which is why I do think if we're still up here at 100K, we may actually be doing something like this. It's not going to be the exact same, but something along the lines of this. Although this says we should turn bearish in January. That's why I don't know. I feel like January is too early. We'll just play it how the market gives it to us, honestly. What's the point? What about the ETH chart? I mean, Ethereum can do whatever it wants. It's not so black and white for Ethereum. But if, again, it's the same thing. If we go any lower, we basically just go straight down to the bottom. So even here, I'm telling you, man, it's like even here, basically, I guess if you're a long-term holder and you don't give a shit, anytime Ethereum falls below this white moving average, you're pretty much buying the accumulation. That's just how it's been. You know? So if we bounce from now until March, yeah, we break down. I'm telling you, it could be this simple, man. And then next market cycle, because we have QE and all that rubbish, it might be fast. Dude, it might be fast. It could be very quick. I mean, obviously the time is going to be long because it's still 12 months, but like I said, for right now, it's just confusing because people are like, is it bullish, is it bearish? But once you get to the point where it's like universally bearish, that's the hardest part to make it to. Once you get there, the rest is pretty much you just do nothing. Because that's the thing, like once we get to that halfway mark, everything literally goes straight down. It happened in 2018, it happened in 2022. It should happen again. But Ethereum didn't go up that high, so maybe it doesn't go down that low either. Which is why if it's bearish, we should get a big bounce by February. Because even here, we went down 75%. This one was massive, 90%. So if we get a bounce into March, and then we go back to the low, yeah, that's like 70%. But it's not going to feel like a bear market to us because Ethereum was down here already. So one would argue that this is just a big giant accumulation. And then if we get QE, next time Ethereum could go to 8K. Or maybe it does nothing, I don't know. But we'll worry about that when the time comes. So. But yeah, the base case would be if it's still a bull market, we would make a new all-time high by February. And if we're still below the high by March, then we're going down. And from March until, I guess, October, that would be pretty much the whole bear market rally to the downside. Mm-hmm. 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 I would argue that Doge stands to gain more from an ETH rally than BTC. Well, before that's what we were trying to argue that if Doge BTC just gets one bounce on the Bitcoin pair, then you should be fine. Because even in 2018, you got a couple bounces. I mean, even back in 2022, look at the size of the Doge rally from June until, you know, like there's a possibility that even if this does the same thing, you'll still get a chance to get a big bounce. But I'm not going to overcomplicate it, honestly, you know? The next couple months should be bullish. And if we don't make a new all-time high by February, then we know where we are. Pretty much. Yeah, look, even this 4-day moving average, look, you came back and tested it as resistance both times. You never did in 2020. Yeah, but see, look, you never came to it this time. This time you went a little bit through it. It's getting earlier. It's so bizarre. It really is like the cycle is shifted over. I think it's because this was the real top as far as indicators go. So now all the indicators are saying that we're already in a bear market and we're gonna get the big bounce. That's what I'm starting to think that's what it is, man. That's why I honestly believe that if it's gonna make a new all-time high, it should just go right up. And if it doesn't, then from this moment, we should just go down. I really think that could be where we're at. And you have the momentum for it to happen because the stock RSI is turning bullish on every time frame. So it's almost like the worst thing that can happen is we go down from here. Because then we're bearish, but we don't know where we are. At least if we're bearish, we still could know where we are because we're supposed to go up. So if we go up, but we get stuck, you know it's over. And you can get out. What if we double top? We already did. That's the problem. You're moving the goalpost the whole way down? What do you mean by that? I'm curious. Just like to see alt season now. Stop wasting time. After that, the next alt season. Yeah, I'm not worried about alt season anymore, honestly. Speculation and speculation. Yeah, I mean, that's what YouTube is. If you actually genuinely knew, most people would probably just keep to themselves. With the months? What do you mean, with the months? I've been saying the same thing for like 3 weeks now. But there's no, you can't win with the peanut gallery, so I'm just gonna say you're right and just move on. Look at how low the stock RSI is. Yeah, we should be bullish, but it doesn't mean we have to be. But the base case would be you're here, or even something like this too. Pretty much. What's the bottom indicator called? What do you mean? This? This is just a stock RSI. As far as a turnaround, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't get what you're saying. I don't follow. Every time it goes that low, it gets bought up and rises again. Yeah, but the thing is this. Every time in the bull run, we've gone from oversold to overbought. We've made a new high. So if we don't do that on this attempt, you know it's bearish. For real. That's the thing. So if the stock RSI comes up here and we make a new all-time high, then you're in a bull market. If we don't, it's actually the first time you didn't do that since 2022, which means the trend is bearish. So the next couple months should be pretty bullish. I hope, at least. Or nothing. We could sit here and do nothing. It doesn't matter to me. I just don't want us to go down anymore. Because if we went down, we would break all structure. Like we would break bear market structure. So then we have no idea where we are. At least now, if it's a bear market, we have a general idea of where we are. Because we're getting the early capitulation signals. You know, you got a blue arrow below the blue moving average. Capitulation was 4 months later. We already got that right now. You got the blue arrow here below the moving average. Capitulation was August, was 4 months later, 5 months later. This one, you got a blue arrow below the moving average. Capitulation was 3 months later, 2 months later, roughly. So if we bounce or go sideways, then the capitulation should be here somewhere. I'm just like worried that, and then if it's a if it's a bull market, then we just go up like this. But I'm just worried that some things are saying it's going to be in January, and that doesn't make any sense. Like, how could we go down in January, you know? That's the only problem. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm grateful for watching the live over the last years. I appreciate that, man. Happy Thanksgiving. Market Cipher? Yeah, I don't use that. But that's pretty much where we're at, honestly. I think the next 2 months are going to be very, very telling. Because if we make a new all-time high, then it's a bull market. If we don't, then I would argue somewhere in here is where the final move up is. And then it should go down. That is the point. Sideways equals down. Correct. So if it's a bull market, we have to just go right up like this by January. If it's anything other than this, then it's a bear market. Because every other bear market prior to this says that if we don't do this, it is a bear market. Like this. But again, that's just what historical data says. Crypto Crew dropped a video. Crypto Crew University. My man. But I started watching a bunch of YouTubers, like just if you just search up Bitcoin and like click on whoever pops up, you still have, it's pretty much 50-50. You have the bear people that are all saying the same exact thing, and then you have the moon boys that are all saying the same exact thing. The moon boys are saying the liquidity is expanding, rate cuts are coming, QE is coming, we're holding higher lows, bull run, the manufacturing index, it's all the same stuff. And all the bearish people are saying the same stuff. We broke the moving averages, we broke everything. So it's 50-50, honestly. It's 50-50. We can go down or up, no one knows. Amen, Crypto Prince. Just enjoy the ride the rock's about to take you on. Just enjoy the ride the rock's about to take you on. Have a seat. Just have a seat. But if you take it off of logarithmic, it looks so bad, man. You know? I think I said this yesterday. Did you know that every time Bitcoin has one red month candle, we go down another 50%? That's been that way forever, except for 2009. But if you take it off log, it looks so bearish. Cryptos R Us is a permable. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he's very wealthy, so people gotta do what works for them, man. You know? If something works for you, it doesn't mean it's gonna work for other people. So if his strategy works for him, then that's why he's wealthy. Yo, this is bearish, man. I didn't want to share this. Look at ETH. Look at ETH. If you take it off a log, chat. Would you buy this candle? If you had $1 million and you didn't have any FOMO, would you buy this candle? Or would you wait for a red candle? That is bearish, dude. That's so bearish. Look at Solana. Holy shit. I'm telling you, if you take it off of logarithmic, it looks so much more bearish, man. It really does. And then I have one more little piece to share with you. Someone posted on Twitter that iBit has been having positive inflows for the last however many months. You guys can clearly see that it's shrinking. So like there's going to be a time where when it's positive, it doesn't even go up. You see how we're making lower highs and lower lows? Kinda. I guess not really lower lows, but the grouping is starting to get heavier to the downside. But every time we make grouping to the upside, it's getting smaller. So at some point, it's not even going to go up. Alright, chat. We'll have to leave it there for today. Just a quick little stream. So, just whatever happened to just buy $1? Yeah, it went to 0. But I appreciate you guys tuning in today and every other day. As always, none of this is financial advice. I do appreciate the support, the super chats. And we're going to take it one day at a time. We'll get through this. Think about it this way, chat. We've made it through every single downturn. If you want hopium, we've made it through every single downturn, man. That I can say. As bad as it got in 2023 and 2022, we made it out the other side. As bad as it got in 2024, we made it out the other side. The problem is, every time we make it out the other side, we just don't learn our lesson. Because we always come up with, well, what if this, what if that, moon boy, and then we end up in the same place. It's like the sheep gif, where the sheep just GIF, whatever, keeps going into the little crack, they pull it out, and then it goes back in. So when you make your money, don't worry about the Moon Boy Hopium. Just take it. But it's gonna be a while. However, it'll go quick because I've been on YouTube for 5 years already, dude. Next March is 5 years already. So it'll be March before you know it, and then it'll be the summer before you know it, and then the bull market will be starting again. So just take the next couple months to enjoy your time. I mean, obviously we'll pay attention if it does get a miracle rally to a new all-time high, but the data says no. Maybe it does. I'm not going to pretend to be a know-it-all, and we'll figure it out. So I'm very grateful for the YouTube channel, grateful for the YouTube community, as always. Demon for 2 says, where will Turbo get stuck? Turbo is pumping hard right now. You better get in before it leaves the station. And I would say Turbo, the 236 at 19 and the 382 at 25. As long as they're below 25, the price is considered bearish. So if you can get over 19, you're in. 25, you're in. Otherwise, over 25 to the moon. But all right, chat. We'll be back tomorrow. As always, none of this is financial advice. I'm very appreciative of the YouTube community. We peaked at 187 viewers today, which is bearish. But we'll get through this, all right? So enjoy your day. If you celebrate, happy Thanksgiving. If not, just another day in the office. We'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate all the support over the years. We will get through this, trust me. And there will be another time where we make all of our money, but just not now. So, unless we get a miracle, you know, some people get a miracle rally to the high, to the moon. If not, at least we'll know where we're at. So, enjoy your day. None of this is financial advice. Appreciate all the support. Very thankful. And we'll be back tomorrow. Bye.